Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. I'm Kurt Ullman. I'll be serving as worship associate today. Our minister, Rev Lisa Doege, is our worship leader this morning. And our worship, religious education, and covenant group theme for March, it says February, but it's for March, is the practice of trust. Here at the UU Church of Savannah, we are working to build a diverse, multicultural, and beloved community. We celebrate the presence and participation of people of all races, genders, sexual orientations, abilities, and ethnic and national origins. We warmly welcome each and every one of you on YouTube and on site. There is room here for you. Come in, be among us. If you're visiting with us this morning and you'd like to introduce yourself, please raise your hand, and Mary will bring a microphone. We use microphones whenever anyone speaks so that everyone in the sanctuary and watching on YouTube can hear.
Hi, my name is Karen. I'm visiting for the first time. I'm a native Savannah, but I wanted to come and share my worship with you.
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Sebastian. I brought my partner Nick here to visit, so yeah.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Colleen Olson, and I'm a member of the Brooklyn Unitarian. Came because we were so cold, and I thought this was going to be fun. But I didn't know about St. Patrick's Day being... Here I am.
And anyone on this side? All the new people, all the visitors on one side. Very good. If you are looking for a new faith community, we encourage you to visit several times to get a feel for our worship style and our approach to matters of faith and religion. It's good to have all of you with us. Please join us in Ron Hall for refreshments following the service. You'll find Ron Hall in the next building by following the crowd through this door or the main doors, or ask the ushers. After the children's story and after the offering, we sing short responses, and the lyrics are printed in the order of service. There are 2 cards in the pew back in front of you to help us gather information for the good of our community. Use the QR code on the Rainbow Chalice card to sign up for our newsletter and to receive a welcome letter from our minister, or if you prefer, fill out the card by hand. The card with the red heart and chalice is for sharing a joy or sorrow. Please write legibly. If you fill out either of these cards, please put it in the collection plate when it comes around. Church announcements are emailed to members and friends on Tuesdays and Fridays. Check your email for complete details about important events coming up soon, including the following. On Thursday, March 27th, from noon to 1:30, the Green Team is co-hosting a lecture by eco-activist, author, and artist Kara Judea Al-Hadef at the Ogeechee Theater on the GSU Armstrong campus. And from David, next Sunday, we're pleased to welcome the Reagan High School Choir from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as our guests. This 40-plus group has toured extensively, and they will be singing a wide variety of songs throughout next week's service. They're directed by Mignon Dobbins, who serves as the music director for the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Winston-Salem. Also, there will be music with Mr. David at 12:15 in the sanctuary. With the lighting of our chalice, symbol of the Unitarian Universalist faith, we enter into sacred time. Our chalice lighter this morning is Judy Saucerman. Our chalice lighting words are by Kimberly and Tomchek Carlson. We are a people of memory. As inheritors of our ancestors' legacy, we hold their stories tenderly, gleaning wisdom from diverse journeys, united in hope for the future. Guide us to trust in love as we kindle this flame together.
Each time we gather to worship, a new body is created. Never before has quite this same congregation come together, and never again. The weekly recreation of this community is indeed a sacred event. Together may we see the familiar with new eyes, hear the familiar with new ears, sing and say the familiar with new voices. Come, let us worship together. Will you rise in spirit or in body for our hymn in the gray hymnal, number 347, Gather the Spirit. Time now for our story. Anyone who would like to see the pictures may come forward. Our story this morning is called I Am We, a book of community. I know it is important to take care of me, to focus on my own breath, my own needs, to be kind to my mind. Sometimes I wonder, is that selfish? How does caring for myself help anyone else? But then I realize that the better I feel inside, the more I can be there for others, my friends, my family, my community, because I do not exist alone. I am part of something bigger than myself. And when we each take the goodness and self-compassion inside and turn it outward, that is how we make progress and change. How we build, create, learn, and show love, how we care for each other affects the world. I am more than me. I am we. When there are challenges and struggles, I can check on you. You can check on me. We can create a safety net so no one falls. Next week, I'm talking about safety nets. I might have to read the story again next week. When there is hurtfulness and inequity, we can stand up for each other. We can sit, gather, march, sing, vote, stronger in number, louder in voices as we call for justice. When there are differences in thoughts and opinions, we can have a conversation. Listening, disagreeing, and agreeing with gentleness, finding the right solution for all of us. When there is shyness and a feeling of not belonging, we can be the welcoming committee, interested and thoughtful, making sure there is a place for everyone. When there are problems to be solved with creativity, I can share my talent and you can share yours. We can combine our strict skills and ideas to dream up something spectacular. When there are good times, successes, and joy, we can celebrate, show our excitement and pride, and encourage each other to keep on rising. Connection is how I grow. Connection is how we grow. Connected is what we are, part of a worldwide community, diverse and magnificent, kind and accepting, supportive and present, all of us important, none of us alone. I am not just me, I am we. Thank you for listening. We will sing you on your way to religious education. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
As the ushers prepare to take this morning's offering, may each of us look into not just our wallets or our checkbooks to see how much we have with us. Let us also look into our hearts and see what is available there. How much love, how much generosity, how much faith, how much gratitude, how much hope. And let us take our offering from that account. To donate via debit or credit card, please use the QR code on the back of the order of service, or go to www.uusavannah.org and click the donate button. Mailed checks are also welcome. Thank you for your generosity. We have a sorrow, a joy, and a concern today from Jeannie Ashmore. Our 98-year-old neighbor died. He was independent. He drove, mowed several lawns, was a past mayor of Tybee Island. He will be missed. Alan Hendrick was his name. And we have a joy from Claudia Scarborough. Carolyn Upton had surgery on her carotid artery on Wednesday and is home and progressing nicely. And our hearts go out to all the people threatened with deportation by our administration for the exercise of their right of free speech or for their ethnic origins or both. Let us hold all our joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts as we join together in the responsive reading found in your order of service. Sorrow is everywhere. Yet joy is reborn. As we mourn together, so celebrate together. And offer thanks that we are not alone. So may it be now and in all the days to come.
Now will I answer.
Let us enter into a spirit of meditation. The words of meditation this morning from Thomas R. Smith. It's like so many other things in life to which you must say no or yes. So you take your car to the new mechanic. Sometimes the best thing to do is trust. The package left with a disreputable-looking clerk, the check gulped by the night deposit, the envelope passed by dozens of strangers all show up at their intended destinations. The theft that could have happened doesn't. Wind finally gets where it is going through the snowy trees, and the river, even when frozen, arrives at the right place. And sometimes you sense how faithfully your life is delivered, even though you can't read the address. Amen. Our first reading this morning, Faith by Linda Paston, with the epigram for Ira. With the seal of silence emblazoned on your forehead, like the old good housekeeping seal of approval, I believe what you tell me about cells and molecules, though I can't see them. And though the language you speak is full of numbers and symbols I'll never understand, though your tie is askew and your hair unruly, still I believe what you say about the size of the universe, which is either expanding or contracting. I've forgotten already which. So if tomorrow you tell me you made a small miscalculation, that God indeed created the world in 6 short days, then rested on the 7th, that it was Eve who landed us in all this trouble, I would believe you. I would believe you as I've always done before. And from Adrienne Marie Brown, trust the people. Trust the people who move toward you and already feel like home. Trust the people to let you rest. Trust the people to do everything better than you could have imagined. Trust the people and they become trustworthy. Trust that the people are doing their work to trust themselves. Trust that each breach of trust can deepen trust or clarify boundaries. Trust the people who revel in pleasure after hard work. Trust the people who let children teach and remind us how to emote Be still and laugh. Trust the people who see and hold your heart. Trust the people who listen to the wails. Trust the people, and you will become trustworthy. Trust the people and show them your love. Trust the people. Here end our readings. Will you rise in body or spirit for hymn number 67? We sing now together. I grew up in a generation, as indeed some of you did as well, that was taught to seek out a policeman, and they were almost exclusively men, if we were ever lost or separated from our parents. Oddly, I don't remember my parents ever giving me that advice, but a kindly officer who gave a lost child an ice cream cone and perhaps a ride atop a police horse before reuniting them with their parents was featured in many a picture book. In that same era, there was a house about 2 blocks down from my elementary school that had a little poster in the window showing the outline of a house with a handprint in the middle of it. It was supposed to signify that that was a safe house to go to if you were locked out of your own house or lost or otherwise in trouble. Because I boarded the school bus at the edge of the school playground and got off at a bus stop just 3 houses down from my own back door, I never had occasion to need to knock on that door. Fast forward a quarter of a century, I had been ordained but not yet called to full-time ministry, so was working for a temp agency. One week, I was assigned to a small 2-person graphic design firm. Friday afternoon rolled around and both partners left before the end of the day. One of them signed my time card for the temp agency and told me to lock up when I left. I protested, but how do you know I'll work till 5 o'clock? Oh, you're a minister, she said. If I can't trust you, who can I trust? She'd clearly never heard of Jim Baker or any of the others. Fast forward another 3 decades, and here we are, a quarter of the way into the 21st century. It is openly acknowledged among a widening segment of the population what parents of children of color have always known, that police officers too often present a danger to children in trouble rather than safety and security. It seems like a really bad idea to encourage children to knock on a stranger's door simply because a particular symbol appears in the window. Scandals involving clergy of all denominations, ranging from sexual abuse to fraud, have only multiplied in the years since that graphic designer insisted she knew she could trust me based on my identity as a minister alone. And this week, when I did a search for children's story about trust, an interesting thing happened. Most of the books that were recommended were about how to be trustworthy, not about who to trust, about how to learn to trust yourself, not about how to trust others. I did come across one highly acclaimed book about not trusting fish that looked spot on for this morning, but alas, the release date isn't until April 25th. But expect it sometime. Maybe I never hit on the best search parameters, or maybe the world is such a dangerous place that it is really, really hard to know how to talk to kids about trust, just like it's really, really hard to talk to adults about trust. From deep fakes to plain old deceptive dating profiles, from scammers and fishers who pretend to be me to try to get gift cards from you, to politicians who make campaign promises without the least intention of keeping them. And from auto mechanics, car salesmen, and other non-automotive related vendors who regularly cheat women, to healthcare providers in every segment of the field who violate boundaries, confidentiality, and bodies. Our lives are filled with people we shouldn't trust, people who take advantage of our trust, people who, taken all together over time, might bring us to believe we can't trust anyone, should not trust anyone. There is always a chance that any person may betray us, deceive us, let us down when we really need to be supported. There is no uniform like that of a police officer, no symbol like a poster in the window of a supposedly safe house, and no profession like clergy that can guarantee the wearer of the uniform, the denizen of the house, or the member of the profession can be trusted. We've tried to mitigate that lack of uncertainty, creating whole industries to protect ourselves. Background checks, nanny cams, Ring-type video doorbells, McAfee antivirus, and on and on. When it comes down to it, however, none of our safeguards and precautions is 100% effective. And we still have to make a decision: to trust or not to trust. And because none of our strategies for preventing fraud, deception, and betrayal is 100% effective, the question of trust becomes a matter of faith. Can I help you? I don't think we have anyone named Williams.
Okay, Williams, L. You have a blue Honda SUV? Georgia Tech?
Nope.
Okay, sorry.
And because none of our strategies for preventing fraud, deception, and betrayal is 100% effective, the question of trust becomes a matter of faith. Opting out of trust altogether is tempting. If we never give anyone our heart, it will never be broken. If we never give ourselves to friendship, we will never be betrayed. If we never join a church or other organization, we will never be disappointed. If we never enter into a business transaction, we'll never be cheated. Oops. That last one is impossible. Unless we have the means and the skill to go completely off the grid, the need to enter into business transactions is a daily occurrence. The thing is, the others are almost impossible too. Eventually, without our conscious permission, we give our hearts away. And while we can snatch them back again in a desperate attempt to avoid all possibility of heartbreak, that ends in heartbreak too, for what might have been. We can withhold ourselves from all possible friendships, refuse to throw our lot in with any organization for fear of trusting the wrong people or institutions, but that leads to such depth of loneliness and isolation as to be dangerous to our health and is in itself a breach of our own trust to tend ourselves well in ways of wholeness and vitality. If we are to live full, productive lives of both meaning and joy, we must find our way beyond self-protection and isolation, fear and suspicion. That continuing and lifelong process is, I repeat, a matter of faith. We sing now together our song of thanksgiving. David balked a bit when I insisted that we sing this hymn this morning. You might be wondering about it too. It's a Thanksgiving tune with Thanksgiving lyrics, but it is also on point for a discussion of trust. We sing of the prophets, the teachers, the dreamers, designers, creators, and workers and seers, our own lives expanding, our gratitude commanding. Their deeds have made immortal their days and their years. I love all the Thanksgiving hymns, quite frankly, for different reasons. I love this one because it invites us to broaden the scope of our thanksgiving beyond the fruits of the harvest, to encompass the people we are thankful for. And I'm all about broadening the scope of gratitude at Thanksgiving or other times, filling our cornucopias with symbols of all our blessings, as you may remember from last fall's service. And today, when we consider trust, I appreciate this hymn because prophets, teachers, dreamers, designers, creators, workers, seers, these are people we want to be able to trust. People who historically we might have automatically counted among the trustworthy. Still, we know that no profession, no category of people is without individuals who will break whatever trust they are offered. There are theories and self-help guides and workshops to help us learn to trust ourselves to make sound decisions about trusting others. There are lists of red flags and databases of bad actors that may, probably do to some extent, help us avoid misplacing our trust. Still, as the name of this month's Soul Matters theme, the practice of trust reminds us, trust takes practice. And even with the theories and guides and databases, opportunities abound for us to misplace our trust and bring ourselves into harm's way. So from a faith perspective, I think the answer to, if I can't trust you, who can I trust, doesn't lie in systems or in lists, but rather in the last verse of that hymn. We sing of community now in the making. in every far continent, region, and land, with those of all races, all times, and names, and places, we pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand. In community, in church or 12-step groups, neighborhood associations, parenting groups, open heart surgery survivor support groups. Even I've heard great things about community in CrossFit gyms. In community, we learn who we can trust and how we can trust and how to be trustworthy. We learn it through observation of others in the community trusting one another and being trustworthy. We learn it through the unfolding of our relationships within the community. We might get it wrong sometimes. We might still place our trust in the wrong person when we venture outside our familiar intentional circles. It might even be from time to time that someone within our familiar intentional circles is not worthy of the trust we have placed in them. But communities at their best have a self-preservation-based interest in supporting and sustaining and teaching trust. So if we ground ourselves in community we are now and continually making and remaking, then through practice and observation, we build our capacities both to identify people worthy of our trust and to take the risk of trusting even when it's not a sure thing. We may, each of us, have someone of whom we can say, as Linda Paston does in her poem Faith, if you told me something completely different tomorrow than you've ever told me before, I would believe you, as I've always done before. I hope each of us has someone we trust that much in our personal lives. For all the other times and all the other circumstances that confront us with decisions about who to trust, may we trust in community and within community. The community Adrienne Marie Brown describes, the community of people who already feel like home, who revel in hard work, who allow children to teach, who listen to wails. If you can't trust me, or a police officer, or the safe house down the block, that's whom you can trust. Amen. Our stewardship chair, Jane Rago, is homesick today. She texted me an update this morning. As we enter our third week of our stewardship drive, we have received $89,662 in pledges, bringing us past the halfway point. This is fantastic, especially given the financial uncertainty in our society at large at the moment. If your pledge is among those, the ones reflected here on our heart, you have my personal gratitude and the gratitude of our entire congregation. If you have not yet completed your pledge form, members of our finance committee, including Judy Deinhardt, will be in Ron Hall following the service to help you do so. And in just a moment, Mary Garofalo will inspire you to give generously with remarks about what the church means to her and why she pledges generously herself. First, though, a few additional words about our goal. $173,000, or 10% above last year's total pledge income, will allow us to meet our utilities and other overhead expenses, fund our programs, and compensate our staff at this year's level, with little to no room for growth or expansion of programming, and no room to accommodate for rising overhead costs due to inflation without cutting programming. The caution that arises out of financial uncertainty is real, And our board and I are aware that asking you for an increase in your support of the church at such a time is asking a lot. It's asking you to perhaps shuffle around some priorities. It's asking you to believe that you will be better able to endure what is unfolding around us with a strong and growing church than without it. It's asking for the best of your love. It's asking for faith. And we thank you for your faithful consideration of an increase, whatever decision you make in the end. Mary Garofalo joined the church just over a year ago. You will have seen her serving as an usher even this morning. She is also active on our pastoral care committee, and she gets the final word in today's stewardship moment.
June just last year, I became a member of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. It was a beautiful ceremony, and I was grinning from ear to ear. I was now part of a congregation that welcomed me when I walked through the front doors. Now I am an usher and say the same greeting and hellos to members and visitors to the church. It is more than a warm smile that enchanted me to become a member here. It was the strength of the congregation, how they held together and held each other up in friendship and in need. I wanted to be a part of that, be a part of you. I walk to church almost every Sunday. I sing the songs knowing I am off key. I listen intently to the sermons and meditations. These writings come to me later in email. I save them and reread them. After services, I go to the hospitality, and with my name tag on, I try to join in conversation. To be honest, I tend to be shy and not the best conversationalist. Instead, I now follow Lisa on the loose all over Savannah, and it is a better way to meet people and a lot of them to meet me. Things are beginning to be opening up. It all takes time to make new friends. I've hosted hospitality and celebrating families with Matt for a couple of times. I am now reaching outwards of myself, helping others, and I'm starting to think that I can be a part of the congregation. It was an honor when the Rev Lisa asked me to do pastoral care. Before, I was reaching inside myself, and now I hope I am giving comfort, a smile, or conversation to members of the congregation through pastoral care. I look back to that June membership day and see how far I have come. I have grown as a person and in spirit. I could not have done all of this without you. Thank you for welcoming me through the front doors. Give generously.
Will you rise in spirit or in body for our closing hymn number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere?
So
Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. Amen.